Hey everyone, this is my Raspberry Pi. Just wanted to make a quick video demonstrating how it works. So as you can see, the Raspberry Pi is not very big. It's about the size of a small smartphone, and it fits inside a little plastic case. It has 4 USB ports on the front here, alongside an Ethernet port, an HDMI output, and then you have the power port, which is just a micro USB. On the back, it has a little slot for an SD card. So when we boot this up, it'll launch straight into the emulators and allow me to select my games and play. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and plug in the HDMI and the power and our controller. The controller we're using is it's a replica of the Super Nintendo controller, and it has a USB connection on the end instead of the old Nintendo connection. So I also picked these up. I got 2 of these original Nintendo replicas. They're also USB. They work with Windows or your Raspberry Pi. Okay, so here we have our Raspberry Pi. We're going to go ahead and plug in the HDMI port first. Get that out of the way. And then we're going to plug in our controller to the top left port, port number 1. And then now we're going to plug in our power cord. Now, with this case, it doesn't have any power buttons, so as soon as you plug it in, it will actually start booting up. Okay, so this is the menu that you boot into after you plug in the Raspberry Pi. This is Emulation Station. From here, we can select the emulator that we want to play, or the console that we want to play. Currently, I have PlayStation, Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Sega Mega Drive, which is actually the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Sega 32X, which was really just an add-on for the Sega Genesis, and then we have RetroPie. Now RetroPie is just the configuration menu to set up your little console. So for now, we're just going to stick with a Super Nintendo game. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and begin playing. We're going to go ahead and launch the game. Configuration and everything is pretty much automatic. The only thing I ever had to do to configure it was to set up my controller binds. Like, it'll ask you to push certain buttons. You're just configuring the controller. Pretty self-explanatory. For the most part, the game is plug and play though. Now I'll show you something really cool. One of the cool things about playing on an emulator station like this is what's called save states. So if you've never played an emulator before, you can actually save your game at any point. So to do that, we're going to press the select and the right bumper. It says save to slot number 0. Okay, so now our game is saved. We'll unpause the game and we'll take off here and just see if we can't hurt ourselves, whatever. Now if we want to load the game, we do pretty much the same thing, but instead of the right bumper, we're going to use the left bumper. And it just loads it for us right there. It's that easy. If we want to exit back to the emulation station, we hit both start and select at the same time. And it takes us back to the menu. Hit B to back up. And let's switch over. Let's try a PlayStation game. Now I don't have a PlayStation controller with me right now. But you can use a DualShock 3 controller. The Raspberry Pi does have Bluetooth built in, so you can pair it wirelessly, or you can use a USB cord. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So these are the games that I currently have installed for my PlayStation. Let's do NFL Blitz for now. And it will load. So someone was asking me about the video quality when you use it on a modern TV. I'm currently playing, like I said, on a Dell IPS monitor, and it looks fine to me. The scaling is 4:3 or whatever the native console scaling is, and I actually haven't had any problems. It looks nice and clear to me. It's actually looks a little bit clearer than the original. Like, it looks better than the original consoles. That could be in part because I'm playing on an HD monitor, but it's not bad. So here we are, we're playing Blitz, and yes, I'm using the Super Nintendo controller, but we'll make it work. Oh, crap. I don't know the controls yet. This is my first time playing since I've installed all this. I haven't played Blitz since... I actually had it on Nintendo 64, not on PlayStation. So I don't know the buttons. Alright, now I'm just going to show you how to install ROMs or games to your Raspberry Pi. All you need is a Windows computer, and they both need to be connected to the same network. Okay, over here on the left I have my list of ROMs, and over here on the right I just went to my computer. Down here under Network you'll see the RetroPie shows up since it's connected to the same Wi-Fi network as my PC. I'm going to click on ROMs, and then it's going to bring up a list of corresponding emulators or consoles for my Raspberry Pi. So I want to click on NES, and it's going to show me all of the ROMs or games that I have installed already. Back over here on the left, I'm going to pull up my NES folder, and let's install Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Strike. Now, I have 3 different options to select from. That's because I downloaded 3 different ROMs. I'm just going to take the top one, and I'm going to drag it over to the right and drop. And that's it. It's installed. Now, the new ROM will not show up, and once you restart it, it'll show up, and then from there, you can use the scraper to actually pull information from the internet on the game, so it'll show you the box art. That's pretty much all there is to it. The whole kit cost about $75. Like I said, I did spend a little bit extra for the original Nintendo controllers. Like I said, I think they were $7, so not a bad deal at all. All it takes is just a little bit of patience. Setting it up is actually really easy if you buy a kit that has RetroPie preloaded on an SD card. All I had to do was put the board inside the case and 4 screws, plug everything in, and you're loaded and ready to go. From there you configure your Wi-Fi network, jump on your computer, and transfer some ROMs over, and you're playing in no time. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you later.